Hello, everybody. My name is Chloe, and I'm the operations manager at V4TP. So thank you so much for joining today. We are very glad to have and invited the founder of Encompass Hong Kong, Benita Chick, to talk about all the unique creatures in Hong Kong. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and welcome, Benita.
Thank you for having me. Is everybody able to hear me? If you can give me a thumbs up, or if some of you can turn on your camera, it will be good. We have a small group today, and it will be good to see you. So let me share screen now. Thank you, everybody. I can see your thumb up. So I'm going to talk about small and unique animals in Hong Kong. Some of them may be not too small, but I think you will also enjoy learning about them. So a little bit about myself. I'm educated as a marine biologist. I like diving. I teach scuba diving for kids. I don't know if you guys saw a video. There was actually a mola in Hong Kong. Just 2 weeks ago, somebody found them in the river. There were also whale shark sighting in Hong Kong. So I know Hong Kong is not famous for whale shark, but actually people have been finding them off Po Tok Island and Lama Island. So this picture, that this icon you see, Octopus. So because I have many interests, it's actually created by my friend Nonni. She's a children illustrator, and I know some of you might like artwork as well. As for the Forest for the Planet a challenge is also for artwork, so you might want to check out her artwork for reference. So this is some of my other work before. So about 6 years ago, I led a group of young students from Hong Kong. These are high school students. We went to the Sumatra forest. Just like the forest video you see just now is very with a lot of amazing wildlife. So we were taking videos of orangutans, which is like the big monkeys, and then fair trade, and talk about the biodiversity in the forest. So I've always been very passionate about wildlife. And with Encompass, my company, we have been doing a lot of eco tours. As you can see, we bring the different kids to look at coral. We go to the sandy beach. We go to farming. So this is some of the work I do. So today, we're going to talk about biodiversity. We're going to talk about wildlife in Hong Kong. And we have a small group, and I have some questions for you. So the first questions, and you can put it in the chat room. Can you guess how many species of butterflies we can find in Hong Kong? So you can put it in the chat room, A, B, C, D, E. So you can let me know which you think is the answer. So somebody said D, someone said B. So I don't know how many butterfly lovers we have. So actually, in Hong Kong, we have 236 species of butterflies. And actually, we have a lot of reef fishes as well. We have over 1,000 reef fishes. We have mammals. We have the Chinese white dolphin. The amphibians we have is as much as the UK. So actually, Hong Kong is very small, but we have lots of amphibians, lots of reptiles, lots of snakes as well. So I don't know how many of you have a chance to look at the animals, not only in pet shops, but only in the wild. So if you're not, maybe go with your parents or join one of the eco tour is really good. So this is a map. There are a lot of things, but I just want to show you in Hong Kong, different places, you will find different things. So for example, in the south of Hong Kong, there's a place called Someone. That's where the green turtles are. As I said, we have whale sharks. On the Sai Kung, we have a lot of coral. So you will find the coral, you will find the reef fishes. On the west here, we'll have the Chinese white dolphin, very nice. And of the Northern Territory, I don't know how many of you have been to Mai Po. The northern part is really good for the wetland. It's really, really good for the migratory birds, which we'll talk about today as well. So my second question, how many corals we found in Hong Kong? So I'll give you a tip. In Caribbean, we have about 70 species of coral. So in Hong Kong, do we have more coral or less coral? So you can put it in the chat room what you think. We have more. Okay, somebody said more. How about other people? So do we have more corals or less coral than the Caribbean? So Caribbean have 70 coral. So you can put it in the chat room so everybody can see your answer. Or anybody want to unmute yourself and guess? Anybody have seen corals before? Okay, so we actually have more corals than the Caribbean. The Caribbean have about 70 corals. So Hong Kong is a subtropical weather. We have corals from Japan. We have corals from Indonesia. So Hong Kong is actually very biodiverse. So I don't know how many of you have studied biology before. So we have the invertebrates and the vertebrate. So today we'll start talking about the invertebrate first, which is more simple organisms, including the jellyfish, the worms. We'll talk about snails. We'll talk about very cute snails and very big snails. And then we'll talk about the spider, the insects, and then we'll talk about the bigger things, a little bit slightly bigger, but we are also going to talk about a very small frog, one of the most endemic frogs in Hong Kong that only find in Hong Kong. So we'll start from here, the invertebrates, and then we'll talk about the vertebrates. So I don't know how many of you seen this. This is a very, very big snail, okay? Not like the little small snail you'll find in Hong Kong. This invasive species is actually first found in Hong Kong in 1931. So before 1931, they are not found in Hong Kong. And what do I mean by invasive? They are not belong to Hong Kong originally. Some people may be brought them to come. Actually, in some countries in the world, they actually eat the snails. This snail is native to East Africa. And it's a very big pest because they eat a lot of the farming and a lot of the flowers. So this is actually, this snail is not very good for the environment. But I'm going to show you some cute snails. I don't know, anybody have seen this? This is of course a cartoon, but this represents an animal. I hope you like this drawing. I actually really like this. So this is called a Nudibrand. So Nudibrand is like a snail without the shell. It comes in all different colors. They are toxic actually, and a lot of the poisonous animals actually have a very strong color to illustrate that they are poisonous. They are carnivorous, meaning that they eat meat, and they are also a hermaphrodite, meaning they have both male and female sex organs. So some animals like us, we are only born as a boy or born as a girl. We don't have both organs, but these animals have both male and female organs. There are about 2,000 species of them in the Indo-Pacific, meaning in the Asia area. In Hong Kong, we have over 230 species. So they are really cute. They are like this. They are one of my favorite animals. A very, very bright color, very nice. If you type the word nudie, you will find them in the Google. So this look less nice, it's less colorful, but they are also related to the sea snail, the nudie I show you, the shells. This is sea hare, and different from the Nudibrand, this are herbivorous. And in Chinese, it's called huitou, like a sea rabbit. And the reason they have like this greenish gray color is because they eat algae, okay? They eat algae and they eat seagrass. Also in Hong Kong, you can find them. And actually you see a bunch of this in this picture is because they were like mating. There's a lot of them. So I really like octopus. I don't know how many of you have seen this documentary called My Octopus Teacher. They are very smart, one of the smartest animal in invertebrate. Actually, I don't know how many of you watched the World Cup, the soccer. Actually, there's a famous octopus in Spain that they can predict. They said they can predict the result of the World Cup. So anybody know how many hearts and brain do octopus have? Oh yes, Chloe said they look like characters from Pokemon. Yeah, very true. Anybody know how many hearts and brain do octopus have? You can guess. I'll give you a hint. It's more than us. They have more than one heart and one brain. So Chloe said 4. How about other people? Okay, so actually octopus has 9 brains and 3 hearts. So very interesting, right? We only have 1 brain and 1 heart. They have 9 brains and 3 hearts. Maybe that's explain why they are so smart. And their blood is actually blue. So our blood, I'm sure you might have cut your own finger before, it's red. Our blood is red because we have the iron in our blood. The iron make our blood red. But this octopus, they have copper in the blood. So copper make them blue. So it's very different. But octopus, even though they are very cute, some of them are poisonous. So this is called the blue ring octopus. You can find them in Hong Kong. They are very toxic, so they can actually kill people. But fortunately, in Hong Kong, nobody has been killed before. But if you see this blue ring octopus, you might want to stay away. Now I want to show you this. This is a jellyfish in Hong Kong. We have 6 common types of jellyfish. Most of the jellyfish you see are very small, but there's one type that is very big. This is called the lion's mane jellyfish. It's as big as a person. You can also find it in Hong Kong. And I also want to introduce this to you. So this is my friend has a Hong Kong jellyfish project. You can Google them. You can find them on Instagram, find them on website. So actually in Hong Kong, because not a lot of people research on jellyfish, we don't know where they are found. We don't know how many species they are. We don't know whether at certain time of the year or in certain location they will be more attacked, more dangerous to human. So we need all this data. So if you actually see a jellyfish just with your phone, you can take a picture and upload this. You can share a sighting, and if you have a sting, because some type of jellyfish, we don't know what kind of damage will do to a human. If you report them, it will help the scientists to better understand these animals. So now I also want to talk about corals. So I love coral. I actually study coral quite a bit. So I have a question for you. Is coral plant or animal, or they are both, or you are not really sure? Okay, you can let me know. So anybody know, have you seen a coral? Okay, so co is a bee, animal. Jagannath says sea. Sea. Candace says sea. Okay, so actually jellyfish is kind of, coral is kind of like both. What do I mean by that? Because coral actually is related to jellyfish. When it's a baby, it swims upside down like a jellyfish. But when it becomes bigger, then it lands on a substrate, we call it, and then they grow this skeleton. But within each coral, the reason why most coral are green and greenish and brownish color, because they have this called a symbiotic algae. We also call them a zooxanthellae, which is a more fancy name. But this actually, the zooxanthellae, the algae, help they live inside the coral. It's like a house for them. They help photosynthesize and create food for coral. In return, the algae have a safe space to live. So I would say coral is animal, but they have some plant inside it. So if you answer both, or I'm not sure, or actually it's all correct. But if you say it's plant, it's not really correct, because coral is animal, but with plant inside it. So this is not the greenish brownish coral, I tell you. So I tell you most coral are greenish brown because of the symbiotic algae. This coral is called a sun coral. It's actually live in deeper area. And because they don't have the zooxanthellae, they don't have the symbiotic algae, they don't have that one. They need to consume more food to the filter feed so they can survive. This is sea cucumber. I actually studied them from a master program. So for those family here who might have Chinese meal, you might have seen them in your dinner table before. But not all sea cucumber are black and long. Okay, some sea cucumber are like this. They're red with a nice, very nice, we call this the mouth part with the tentacles. This picture is actually taken by me in Hong Kong. And here you can see 2 sea cucumber. There's a sea apple here and another thorny sea cucumber here. But I don't know if you know that. Have you seen a sea cucumber with this right thread coming out? Do you know what that right thread is? You can guess, you can unmute yourself, or you can put it in the chat room. Anybody know what this white thread it is? When you attack the sea cucumber, it will have this coming out. Poison. Not exactly poison, but there's a purpose. Anybody can guess? So this is actually the intestine of the sea cucumber. When you disturb the sea cucumber is not very happy, okay? And they will ingest this threads out, so it will stick to you, so you are scared, and then the sea cucumber will go away. So actually, sea cucumber is related to sea star. They are both echinoderm. So just like sea star, when sea star broke off a leg, they can regrow. The sea cucumber, if they ingest the sticky thread, the intestine, they can actually grow back. It won't die. So very interesting facts about sea cucumber. And now this is a horseshoe crab. I don't know how many of you seen that before. You can find them actually in Soi Hao. In Hong Kong, we have 3 species of sea cucumber, and they are prehistorical animals. So some of you might know dinosaurs, right? Horseshoe crab is actually older than dinosaur. It's more than 300 million years ago. And they have this hard exoskeleton, a very big skeleton with 10 legs. So now I have a question for you. Which animals are horseshoe crab mostly related? So we have lobster, crab, spider, and insect. Can you guess which animal? And this is me. I was holding a horseshoe crab in Soi Hao Beach, a baby one, not very baby, maybe half a year old. Can you guess which animal are horseshoe crab most closely related to? So Chloe said D. Anybody else? Candace, you want to guess? So Candace says C. Jacob said A. Actually, very interesting. Horseshoe crab is more related to spider and scorpion. They are called arachnids, so they are not like the insect. Insect has 6 legs. This has more than 6 legs, so the horseshoe crab has 10 legs. So just like spider have 8 legs, scorpion and 8 legs, horseshoe crab is more related to spider and scorpion. So they are more related to spider. So even though they are called crab, they're actually not related to lobster and crab or insects. So another question, this is a very cute drawing of horseshoe crab. Can you guess how many eyes do horseshoe crabs have? Again, you can put it in the chat room. So Chloe says C. Canvas says C. Okay. Actually, horseshoe crab have 10 eyes. So they have 2 pairs of eyes in the front, and then 2 in the middle, and then also in the end as well. So horseshoe crab has very good vision actually. And just like octopus, their blood is actually blue, and their blood is blue because they have this hemocyan made up of copper. Horseshoe crab is very endangered because people collect them for their blood. Their blood can detect bacteria. It's very good. So actually, in Hong Kong, now the horseshoe crab has down the population down by 90% because there's a lot of illegal poaching on them. And now this is Nemo. We'll go back to the fish. So I don't know how many of you have seen the Finding Nemo, that cartoon. In Hong Kong, we don't have the true Nemo. So Hong Kong, we have this kind of Nemo, but it's not like this one. You can see this one is very orange and the white color. The Hong Kong Clark's anemone fish is actually more black. Okay, you can see this black stripe. And it's very different from the real Nemo. They are very aggressive. They are very territorial. So if you attack them, if you go near them, they will attack you. I actually got bites from them before. They're not very friendly. And if you look at the Finding Nemo, the story is that the mother Nemo died. Okay, so the father was taking care of Nemo. Is that true in real life? Actually, in real life, when the clownfish mother died, the father will change gender and mate with his kids. So the father will become the mother, actually. So some fish, such as Nemo or some codfish, they will change their sex. And I don't know how many of you have seen this. This is a funny fish. It's called a frogfish. It doesn't look like a fish. It doesn't look, swim very much. It was walking. So now I want to show you a short video of what frogfish is.
And now it's time for some more amazing animals. Number 42, the amazing frogfish. Is it a frog? Is it a fish? Where is it?
Cooey, I'm over here.
Ah, there it is. Frogfishes are a type of anglerfish found in almost all tropical oceans and seas around the world. They live on the ocean floor and coral reefs. They're often colored in order to blend into their surroundings. The frogfish has an amazing front dorsal fin, which they use to fish for little tiny sea creatures. This one looks like some kind of brush.
Right, this place needs a really good clean.
Frogfish don't generally move very much, preferring to wait for dinner to come to them. What a lazy fish!
Has anyone got a phone? I think I might dial for takeout.
Look at me! I'm doing the worm! Woohoo! When they spot their prey, they wait and wait and wait. And then I'm doing the suddenly open their jaws, sucking in the water and their prey with it, trapping them inside.
Hello? Why is it all gone dark?
The frogfish. What an amazing animal.
So I don't know how many of you have seen a frogfish before. They're not very common, very hard to keep as a pet as well, because they need a very specific habitat, but they're very cute. They're not the normal fish where it's swimming around. So now I'm going to show you another fish that's swimming around. It's like in Chinese, it's called fei gei yu, like a flying fish. So this fish is very common in Hong Kong. And when you chase them, or when they need to go very quickly, they have their fins like an aeroplane. It was flying. So it's quite a cute fish, flying Ghana.
Can I ask
And now I
a
want to
quick question? Like
about
all of the creatures that you were talking about,
yeah.
are they all from like deep sea, or can people see them if they just go to the beach, or do they have to dive really deep down?
For the frogfish, it's a little bit deep. The flying gannet and the Nemo, if you are very good with snorkeling, they are about 3 to 4 meters. But they are all the species I mentioned for the fish, for the octopus and the fish. They are not deep sea species. You can find them easily when snorkeling.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now I want to talk to the green turtle a little bit. I don't know how many of you have seen a green turtle in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, throughout the world, there are different turtles. Some like a leatherback turtle, hawksbill turtle. So in Hong Kong, we have some species of turtles that can found in Hong Kong. So as I said, in the Summer, there's a breeding ground. It's a special area. So each year for a certain season, the turtles will come and will come and mate. So another very interesting things about the turtle. Anybody can guess how is the sex of the baby turtles being determined? So I'll give you a hint. Is by environmental factor. So how do we know a baby turtle? Is it a boy or a girl? Anybody can guess? So actually in Hong Kong, well, in everywhere actually, the sea turtle sex is determined by the temperature. So when the temperature is high, most of the sea turtle will be female. But when the temperature is low, the sea turtle is male. So you can think if it's a climate change, if the environment is too warm, then we have too many female turtle babies. Then the sex ratio is not very good for mating. So the sea turtle, actually, they are also affected by this climate change. So Chloe asked me where can we find this animal? So actually, like the cat and fish I mentioned, the blackish Nemo and the jellyfish, there are many places you can see them. If you want to see the marine species, Sai Kung is a very good place. You can see there's also butterfly fish, there's coral, there's sea urchin. And if you haven't been to Hoi Ha, I strongly recommend it. how you can find a lot of this amazing species. So now I'll talk about a little bit about spider. So spider, when you think about spiders, a lot of you think about spider with the web, but not every spider needs a web. So there's actually this Huntsman Spider. It doesn't need a web, and it's called a huntsman because it moves very quickly. And it also a hunter species is carnivorous. It is like jumping very quickly. And another name for this huntsman spider is called a crab spider, because you look at the legs, it looks like a crab. So another very cute spider is called jumping spider. Okay. So can you guess how many eyes do jumping spider have? Again, you can put it in the chat room. So 8 eyes. Anybody else other than Koi? Candace said B. So this jumping spider can jump very high. It can jump up to 16 centimeters. And out of all the species you can find in Hong Kong, 13% of them are this jumping spider. When they mate, they have this very interesting zigzag courtship dance, like a very interesting lars. And you can see these 2 very big eyes here. It's actually helped them to zoom in the animals. So the correct answer is jumping spider have 8 eyes. So very interesting. Just like the horseshoe crab has a lot of eyes. This animal actually very charismatic, very interesting shape. It has like a long snout, like an elephant. It lives in lychee tree. So it's called a lanternfly. They also eat the sticky sap in the tree. And when they after eating the sticky sap, because it's so sweet, it actually have some honeydew on the body that the other insect will lick on it. So it's called lanternfly. You might think that how is it related to lantern? So actually, the person who named it thought that this structure in the head will have a luminous, will have a light. But actually it was false. Actually, it doesn't emit any light. So it's a misnomer. So actually, this insect doesn't give out light, but it's called a lanternfly. So it's a wrong name, but people have stuck to it. So another very cute insect, this is called Weevil. So this, before the lanternfly, you can see this snout is facing upward. This one, the snout is facing downward. This is actually a beetle. The weevil is a type of beetle. The larvae live in the rice of the nut. They are small and herbivorous. They live inside the rice, and when they're giving birth, they actually give birth inside the rice, and so the baby larvae can eat the thing when it come out. And I also want to show you this. Drawing is done by my friend at IG at Carrots. So she's a young friend of mine, maybe around your age, and she helped me to draw this drawing. So now I want you to guess, is this a butterfly or a moth? You can put it in the chat room. Is this a butterfly or a moth? Can you tell the difference between a butterfly and a moth? So Chloe said a moth. So Chloe, why do you think this is a moth, not a butterfly?
I guess, what do you call that? Is it antenna or usually butterfly? I think I will see that, but not on this one. And the color, I think it's closer to a moth, because usually what I see, they're more gray and brownish. So that's why my guess is a moth.
So very correct, Koi. So there's a few features. So the butterfly, the antennae is more prominent, it's a cup shape. The moth here, the antennae is more feathery. And one thing in this picture is very easy to tell. Moth, when they're resting, their wings usually lie flat. But butterfly, when they are resting, you see their wings, they are kept together. Butterflies are also more diurnal, meaning they live in, they are more active during the day, moth are more active in the night. And the color, as you said, the moth is usually a more duller color, more brownish, not as beautiful. So this one you see is actually called a tropical swallowtail moth. So like this in the back is like a swallowtail. So if you are really interested in animals, you can join this group called the Bug City Hong Kong, and they have a lot of people there interested in the animals. You can take a picture of things you don't know what it is and put it there, and people will know. I also like to introduce my young friend Marco. He is about 19 years old now. He is a very good photographer. He knows a lot about spider and animals, and he's a very young guy, but he has a passion with animals. So if you want to get some inspiration of good animal life, you can follow his Instagram. So earlier I said there are frogs that's endemic to Hong Kong. So this is a Roma tree frog, very small. They are not bigger than the tip of your thumb. They are called the Roma tree frog because John Roma found it in a cave in Lamma Island in 1952. It's only found in Lamma Island and Lantau Island. There's a big population in the Cheknap Kok. So they are very small, very interesting frog. And then we have the Hong Kong newt. So even though it's Hong Kong newt, it's not like the Roma tree frog only found in Hong Kong. This newt, which is also a salamander, live also in Guangzhou. It breeds only in the coolest month. So only in the winter they breed. So you can imagine also climate change affect them, because if it's too warm, then maybe they're not breeding. So now after the amphibians, we move to the reptile. This is called red-necked keelback. So do you think this is a poisonous or not poisonous species? So Chloe think it's poisonous. Anybody seen this before? What do you think? Is this poisonous or not poisonous? So this is actually a poisonous species. So as I said, most animals, if they are very brightly colored, usually mean they are poisonous. So actually, when this snake is being disturbed, it will have a defensive essay posture. In the redneck here, there will be a venom secreted out. So I actually took this picture in one of my hikes last year. But I will show you one that's non-poisonous. This is called a common blind snake. It's like an earthworm, maybe about 15 to 20 centimeters long. You can see that you can see this species. The neck, the head is very you can tell very distinct. But this is like an earthworm. You can't really tell the shape of it. But it does have a spike on its tail. So if it is being attacked, it will use to poke, but it's not poisonous. This species is entirely terrestrial, meaning it doesn't live near the water. So if you want to learn about more snakes, which snakes is poisonous, what type of snakes are found in Hong Kong, you can go to this website called Hong Kong Snakes ID. You'll find more information on the snakes. So now I'll move to the birds. This is called a spoon-billed sandpiper. It's found, it's a migrant, it's critically endangered. It is being bred in Russia and then moved to Hong Kong in the winter month. So can you guess what color is seen on the spoon-billed sandpiper during breeding? So this bird now is brownish, right? Brownish black. But when it's breeding, what color is it? Can you guess? So Chloe guess is deep brown. It's actually reddish brown when it's mating. So if you want to see them in Hong Kong, you can go to areas like Yuen Long or Mai Po or Long Valley, and you will find them. So this is a wet-faced spoonbill. It's just like the sandpiper. It also have this very special shape of the bill. In the Northern Territory, in Hong Kong, we have 20% of the population. There's now only about 3,000 of these birds left. And in the winter, they're all white like this. But in the when they're in the spring, when they're breeding, just like the spoon-billed sandpiper, they will also change color. They will have some yellow feather. So now we'll talk about the pangolin. Can you guess, is this pangolin? Is this a snake? Is it like a reptile or is it a mammal? Can anybody guess? Is pangolin a mammal or a reptile? So Chloe said it's reptile. So Chloe, why do you think it's a reptile?
I guess there's not skin, but they have like a nail scales. Yes, I think I heard something about that, so that's why.
Yes. So actually, this Chinese pangolin is not a reptile; it's a mammal. The scale is used to protect him. So when it's being attacked, it will roll up in a ball. So the sharp scale on the tail can also like lash out to kill other people. The pangolin is considered a delicacy in China, so it's now actually critically endangered. And the fee for trafficking, illegal trafficking of this animal is actually one of the highest in Hong Kong as well. So pangolin is a mammal, it's not a reptile. Yeah. And this is civet cat. I don't know, has anybody seen a civet cat before? Very small. So this civet cat is a nocturnal solitary predator. If you scare them, they actually spray on you. So a very strong smell. The smell is also to be used in fragrance or a stabilizing agent for perfume. And one very interesting about the civet cat, anybody heard of the 貓屎咖啡? Okay, 貓屎咖啡in English, not a very good name, is direct translation, literal translation is cat shit coffee. So why is it called cat shit coffee? So actually, in places like Indonesia or South Asia, the civet cat, they are being caught or being bred because if they digest the coffee bean will fermentate inside their feces, and it makes the coffee bean more tasty. So I don't know if anybody of you drink coffee or have you drink this called a coffee luwak, which means the civet cat coffee. It's more expensive. I think it's about maybe $100 or $120 Hong Kong dollars if you drink this, because actually this coffee bean you need to handpick from the feces to make the coffee. So very interesting about the civet cat. So now there's another cat. This is called a leopard cat. So it's not really a leopard, it's a leopard cat, so it's smaller. So in 2018, actually in Taimusan, somebody said they saw a tiger. And actually it's not a tiger, it's this leopard cat. This leopard cat is a very good swimmer, it's not very big. And they also, when they will urinate and defecate in the water, so to mask their presence, so they are not, so the people don't know they were there. Anybody know what this is? This is a funny looking animal. Has anybody seen this or know what this is? Chloe said 狸貓. So this is actually not a 狸貓, it's called a mongoose. So it's like a fox with small ears. It's a very curious creature. So when you walk near them, they actually like to look at you as well. It's carnivorous. It's a very good hunter. It eats insects. It eats birds. It is even like cobra. It's also called little devil in some country because they are so good in hunting. They eat everything. So they are not considered very nice in some countries. In Hong Kong, they don't have a large population, so it doesn't matter. But in some countries, they call this animal mongoose a little devil. So now I've covered most of the animals I want you to do. I want to introduce to you, and I want to share with you some ways you can learn more about animals. So if you have a cell phone, or if your parents have a cell phone, I don't know if you have used this app. It's called Seek by iNaturalist. So you can download this app and you can take a picture of a butterfly or spider or any of the animals I introduced, and you can put that whether you are in Hong Kong, and you can, for example, collect the most number of spider or butterfly, or you can use this app to identify what you learn. So if you want to learn more about the species that I introduced to you today, you can use this app. I strongly recommend it. And finally, I want to mention my friend Carrie, my young friend. She's a young artist. So a lot of the drawings you see today is done by her. So I want to leave some time for you to ask questions or comments about the animals. Anything you want to learn more?
How about a question from me?
Yes.
So I saw all of the deep sea creatures that you showed us, and I know you're a diver yourself. So in recent years, have you been diving in Hong Kong, and have you seen any changes comparing to, a few years ago? Do you see any big changes when you go diving?
I think so. I've been diving in Hong Kong for over 20 years. I think right now, I think because the government has the fishing ban, so in certain months of the year you cannot fish. I think this has helped the fish population. So I have seen more fish. And also in certain areas in Hong Kong, like Hoi Ha, there is a coral restoration project. So because some corals are being disturbed maybe by bleaching or other thing, but the researcher has tried to regrow it by planting baby corals in the seabed. So in Hong Kong, actually, there's a program called a Reef Check. So the diver will go to every site to monitor the coral coverage. So not all the site, but I think some site has seen an improvement in the coral coverage and the fish diversity. So I think the government has a good approach for the fishing ban, because if you fish if you take away the very small fish, then they don't grow big enough to produce a small fish. So I think definitely there's some improvement in terms of the marine life. And I do want to say the species I introduced are not deep sea species. And actually in Hong Kong, there's not that many deep sea because Hong Kong, the waterbed is very shallow. So you actually don't find a lot of deep sea species in Hong Kong. Yeah. So all the species I show you, you can find them within maybe 5 to 8 meters, the one that I introduced to you today. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do we have a question from the participants that you have for Benita? All right. So maybe let me ask one last question before we go. So I also see a lot of the beautiful images, and then I saw you took some, and then some were taken by Marco. I know he's that bee guy. He does a lot of insects photography. So for people that want to learn more about marine creatures or want to learn about insects, do you have any suggestions for where they can find all of those information? And if they want to learn more about specifically marine creatures, where can they go and learn about them?
Okay, give me a moment. So I know Lumi Fuche has a series of talk with different people. So I don't know if all of you have joined this workshop by Mr. Robert Ferguson. So you can see this is a lantern bug, this is a mantis shrimp. So this book has almost all of the most common spider the insect species you can find in Hong Kong. So reading is one great way of knowing it. Another way, I know some of you are young kids. I think the National Geographic Kids, if you want to learn more about animals, there's videos, there's information on the reptile. You can also learn about yourself. So like Marco, like you can see Burmese python, this is also found in Hong Kong as well. So I think for like the young people I introduced Marco, he has a very strong interest, and he just do a lot of photography on himself, and he also go with other people. So I encourage you to learn the animal not only through books, but for example, maybe I'll share as well. So my company does a lot of the eco tour, both the daytime, the marine park tour, and the nighttime. We look at amphibians and frogs. I think it's important not just only learn in book, but seeing the animal in person. I think it will give you more strong impression of what you are actually learning about.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Benita. And before we go, I would really like to share with you the competition of this year. So in supporting of Voices for the Planet 2022, we've created a series of workshops and everything will be recorded and you can see it in the chat box. I just put the link down for the competition for this year. So just very quickly, we accept writing, drawing, photography, videography, and music. So if you're interested in any of the above areas, feel free to contact me or go to the link below and share with others that will be interested to join. If you don't have any more questions for Benita, I'm going to conclude today's workshop. And thank you so much for joining. We have our last workshop tomorrow, which is hosted by Dr. Benoit he's the director of Hong Kong Biodiversity Museum, also an assistant professor at Hong Kong University. So he'll be talking about insects and everything that you need to know about them. So same link, same time at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for joining and thank you, Benita.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.